One of my very favorite art supplies isn't actually an art supply. It's this random sheet of paper that was never meant to become part of my process. But over the years, it has become an essential part of my phototransfer art practice.
Okay, so let's start now. Let's see how it works. Today we're going to start in a different way. We're going to begin the process with something I like to call under paper. And I guess that's what anybody else would call it too.
Under paper is basically the paper we use directly below our artwork in order to protect our work table, especially when we use paint. I only assume most artists use something to protect their workspace. So instead of using a newspaper or plastic or anything else disposable, I actually use a large, nice paper like a drawing or printmaking paper. And I often use the under paper not just as a protection from paint, but I also use it to test stamps, stencils. I try new supplies I have, or I write myself a reminder. And then over time, these papers become so beautiful and are ready to become a nice background for some artwork.
You can, of course, artificially create those papers by splashing paint or writing text or creating marks with a pen using stamps, stencils. But I feel they're just so much better when they happen naturally on their own. And they're sort of a documentation of your art journey.
However, sometimes I'm actually purposely adding paint to the under paper. I do it when I have extra paint on my plate and I don't want it to go to waste. And that's actually another good use for the under paper.
So next, we're going to take our beautiful under paper and we're going to cut it to the size we need.
I usually like to use a photomat thingy to see the areas that I like, which I mark with a pencil before I cut them. But obviously we don't have to use the photomat and we can simply cut the paper any way and size we like. It's a good idea to cut the under paper with a ruler so we can get these nice edges and it looks more organic.
And if you like this process, you're going to love my book, the new Mixedmedia photography book. It's available on Amazon, so make sure to check it out soon. And if you prefer the digital PDF version, check out the ebook. It's on sale on my website, nitsacreativestudio.com.
Okay, so now that we have these lovely backgrounds, let's choose the one we want to use as our background today. I think this one is my favorite one for today.
And now we're ready to select the image we are going to transfer. So let's do it.
I try to select a clear photo that has a nice contrast. Also, I remember to mirror or reverse the image before printing. And I print with my laser printer on standard copy paper. But you can also use an inkjet printer. It's a question I'm always asked in the comments and I just forget to mention it, that you can use an inkjet printer for this process. However, it will be a good idea to protect the print with spray fixative so the ink doesn't smudge. And you can also use a color photo if you like, but I find that black and white stands out over the colorful background much better. So I prefer to use black and white images, and anyway, I don't have a color laser printer. So next we're going to transfer our photo over the under paper background we've made before. And for the transfer I'm going to use matte medium. This is Nova Color brand, which I explained why I like it in my previous video. But as I mentioned, you can replace the matte medium with any acrylic glue. You can even use school glue. After covering the background with the matte medium, we need to place our photo face down onto the wet medium. And we need to press it down well to create a good bond between the print and the background. I like to use my scissors in order to flatten the photo print as much as I can. I wait about 1 minute and begin removing the top paper.
After initially removing the top paper, I'm going to let it dry a little and then continue removing the rest of the paper the back of the paper, whatever it's called.
At this point, I wet the paper back with clean water. And then continue removing the paper carefully so I don't remove the image. I also like to use a soft sponge to help me remove all the paper.
So now we arrived to the best part, the funnest part, at least for me. I'm going to paint the transfer.
To be honest, this is one of these transfers I might have not painted if I wasn't filming today. I kind of like it the way it is. But since I am filming and I want to show you the process, I'm going to just paint it anyways. These are some semi-abstracts I've made recently, so that's basically the look I'm going for. In order to continue and paint this transfer, I'm going to use these watercolor pencils and also watercolor crayons.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful in any way. Let me know in the comments below if you have any ideas or suggestions for me. I would love to learn and improve my process. As always, I very much enjoyed making this video and creating that semi-abstract piece. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Let's go. And it's not even hot today. I totally forgot what I wanted to say. Let's just move on. No, I don't think so. Sometimes people might make... I need some help talking. That didn't sound right. Moving on. Bye.